Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here.
We don't really start these videos this way.
Do we not?
This is a vlog. But it's not a traditional sense in a vlog. It's happening in our studio. But that's because we are going to be at Comic-Con when this goes live, and we wanted to have something to post for you guys. And someone commented in our last vlog that they thought it would be really cool if we showed you our alcohol collection.
Now, back in the day, I actually did a top 5 or top 10 bourbons, whiskeys, my favorite set. And that was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Got decent views, not great. Hopefully this does better.
I mean, I'm not expecting this to get fantastic views. It's a vlog. It happens up on Saturday. We get consistent
This is
traffic.
One of those videos that, for us, this is a combination of our favorites, the bottles that mean something, the stories that come with them, yeah, that's what it is. And that's how, for
This is not a complete collection, by the way. This is specific bottles that we brought up to talk about.
And for me, and kind of for us, neither of us drink heavily.
Yeah.
We actually have a decent amount of liquor in the house. We love sharing a drink with friends that come by, but neither of us like getting to the point of being plastered or beyond control. We both have a degree of derangement.
Turn it on and off.
Well, a derangement when it comes to our mental state. We both like being in control of the environment that's around us.
Yeah, we don't like getting high. We don't like not feeling like we have a semblance of control.
And so we advocate for drinking and drinking responsibly and making sure that you know your limits, and that's kind of it. I think there's families out there that don't drink at all, and I totally respect that. There's families out there that drink way more than us, and they manage themselves well, and I respect that as well. I think there's a range of responsible alcohol consumption, but there is absolutely no doubt that alcohol contributes to a ton of tragic stuff, a ton of unhealthy habits, a ton of poor decision making, and so this is not a video advocating on behalf of that. This is a video saying we enjoy having a drink with friends. Let's share the bottles that we have and talk about kind of the stories that come from them.
Yeah. And additionally, by the way, if you have any vlog ideas for us, leave them in the comments down below, because I'm always looking for new ideas that we can do, kind of one shot. So with that,
let's keep it Quackalope centric to start with.
Okay.
Way back in the day, I have a friend who ended up making me this Quackalope bottle. I need to rinse it out and refill it with another, segment of liquor.
Do you remember what alcohol it was?
Well, no, you can see the logo on the inside of what type of liquor it was, but no, they printed out this Quackalope label, which I thought was really cool. I've kept this bottle with me for a long time. I filled it up once or twice in the past, and then had it exhaust itself way down. But it's neat. It's neat to have things that are Quackalope related and Quackalope adjacent. And then we also have
these tumblers, and I was trying to think of some presents for Jesse one of these days, and this happens to be his favorite brand of alcohol glasses. They're Moffato.
By the way, Dan made this, for the record, so thank you, Dan.
Moffato from Amazon, and it's a different shape than he traditionally had, but I got the shape specifically because I burnt on with, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. It burns on glass, and it's very corrosive to your skin, and it creates etching cream. There we go, etching cream. So I etched on here the Quackalope logo. I used Rena Radcliffe's, I used her Cricut machine to kind of get the design, and then I did it, and I made him a set of 2, one for each of us, and I think you like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is probably my favorite glass I've ever owned, and something that we use in the studio more than nearly anything else. Yeah. So I am thrilled. All right, let's start talking about actual liquor.
One more thing.
Okay.
Beforehand, something a little bit bigger than what you were expecting. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this.
It's a little intense. It just does not fit, Shira.
Does not fit.
The glare. Yeah, perfect. Do you want to lay it down flat?
Yeah.
All right. This is your shot glass collection.
This is my shot glass collection. When I was in high school.
Doesn't even fit up here.
When I was in high school, I went to someone's house, and he had in the roof of his dining room a shelf that went all the way around with mugs from every single place he had been. And I thought that was so cool. But everywhere I go, mugs are between $20 to $40. And as a high school student, I could not afford that. the things I could afford were shot glasses. And so since then, I have been collecting shot glasses from everywhere I specifically go. There is only 1 or 2 exceptions to that rule, and that is this Space Princess from NASA my dad got for me, and so it kind of has a special place in the collection. And I believe...
Is this the one we got with all the mosquitoes?
Yes.
Ugh.
And each one has a story. And especially with Jesse, as we've started to travel and do more stories, I got stickers to put on the bottom to label with the date.
This is where we flew out to visit Sam Healy?
That's Sam Healy. This is Nashville, when we went out that night.
When I ruined your evening.
You were a grump going out in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's in Atlanta, Georgia. This is I Love Lucy, when we went to the museum up north. This is from our Washington, D.C. We went to the zoo. I could tell you so many of these stories. Mm-hmm. This is when we went to the Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta.
That was fun. That was a good trip.
These are some of the recent ones. This was the aquarium in Atlanta. That is from Busch Gardens in Florida. Up there, 2022. The one on top of it is from this most recent trip to Florida, Flamingo Garden. Mm-hmm. We went with Mingo. Both of these are actually from...
In honor of West, of course.
Both of these are from Wenatchee, Wisconsin, Washington, when we went to visit Sam Healy. One of my favorite ones, actually, is this one. And this is actually gold on here. It's from the Buckingham Palace in England. There should also be one from Israel. Do you see an Israel one? I'm not seeing it right at the moment. Oh, here it is, Jerusalem. I got a set of 2 for Jerusalem. What else is a special one to me? Life's a Beach. We got this on our way to do our first camping trip under the stars. So yeah, these have, and then some of them are just funny to me. I like this one from one of the Adler Planetarium, Pluto. Revolve in peace. Rest in peace, because he died. Mm-hmm. So, this is my shot glass collection. None of these are really drinking ones. We have a separate set.
Yeah, you don't use these. These are, hang on the wall.
These are hang on the walls.
This one does not fit very well.
It does. It closes.
It's very aggressively humped. Yeah, so this is your memories.
Yeah. And that's the one collection that I am a stickler about maintaining and keeping. It's the collection I started before I met him, and it was the one that no matter where I went, I picked up a shot glass.
We don't really do shots.
Right. Right, we do mixed drinks, but every so often, we will do a shot of Jesse's favorite alcohol.
Yeah, for those of you that... I'm just going to say one thing, and then we're going to push this off the screen. For those of you that have missed the secret live streams, either become Patreon members to tune into them, or just don't miss them. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, let's get to some liquor recommendations. Let's get to some stuff that we think people should try. Sazerac Rye.
Okay.
Another one that Dan introduced me to. This is such a good rye whiskey. It's clean, straight, it's simple. It doesn't burn as much as most ryes do. This is just a lovely bottle. So if you're looking for something you haven't tried before, I think it's like a $30 or $40 bottle. It's not too bad. It can be hard to find though. So if you come across it, go ahead and pick up a pair. But lovely recommendation here. Another recommendation, but one that comes with a memory. Basil Haydens. This is going to be the Caribbean Rye, or the Caribbean. Is this Caribbean? Yeah, Caribbean Rye. This is Basil Haydens, but finished in a rum cask barrel. This was introduced to me from Michael Matthews, the designer of the Quackalope logo, and also a good friend of ours. When I moved out of D.C. and Mike came up to help me as the pandemic was hitting, we ended up buying, I think, 14 bottles of this.
Okay.
Or so. I called a liquor store that I knew might have it on hand, and we bought their entire stock.
Yeah.
Right? We walked away with a crate of it. And this was originally a $30 bottle. It's now a $120, $150 bottle because it's out of creation. It doesn't exist anymore. So I've got 3 bottles left, or 2 bottles left, I believe. This is a gem of the collection. Mike has already actually finished all of his. It's not a good drinker on its own, but this makes the very best rum and cokes we've ever had, period.
Okay.
So
I'll have to try it one day.
Whenever we decide to open the 2 bottles we have left.
One of the best mixers I've found is this one, Larceny. And I have a big bottle because Jesse goes through it all the time making the mixed drinks. I make
mixed drinks for, like, whenever we have Wes, Devin, or anyone else in, I'll use Larceny, or right now I also have some, what is it? Four Roses downstairs as well. And we'll use those as bases for everything. I
like this base. It is very smooth going down, and it is a fabulous mixer that is not that expensive as well. It comes in smaller bottles, bigger bottles, and it's just lovely. Yeah. I like this one.
2 bottles coming in from our Patreon community.
I don't like these ones.
These are
Scotches.
These are the world trying to teach me to like scotches. And I'm compelled.
I'm not. I don't like Scotch.
I still am a bourbon person at heart. I still like a whiskey when push comes to shove. However, you get more depth, you get more flavor, you get more diversity. The thing that you don't like is the peatiness. The peatiness, the moss, the smokiness, and there's a range of them. Like the Colkegan here, way more accessible. Easier to drink, cleaner. It wasn't as like grab you by the tongue and make you choke. The Laguvulin here, this was insane. It makes you feel like you just swallowed smoke, which is a weird thing for a drink to do.
I tried this one, and this one was too much for me.
You tried this one?
No, I tried the one we got first.
This one?
That one?
Yeah.
I tried this one, and then I would not try this one.
You're going to have to at some point, because this is more approachable. I am
never
open to the conversation of Scotch whiskey. I think both of these are fantastic bottles. I've been told the Laguvulin is one of those that you love if you love Scotch, but you might not want to introduce people to initially.
And that's why you made me take a shot of it, to ruin my chance of ever liking Scotch.
This single malt whiskey, this Colkegan, really lovely drinker. Probably a good place to start showing people the flavor profile.
This one I brought up basically because I love the story behind it. This is a Jefferson's aged at sea. And Jesse taught me that the brine in the ocean actually helps it age faster. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really cool. And when you taste it,
it's salty.
It's salty. It's almost like salty caramel. Like there's a sweetness and a saltiness that reminds me of like a salted caramel or salt and like peanut butter. The mixture of the sweet and salty was really nice.
If you know bourbons or whiskeys, this is actually a very unique flavor. Yeah. Like you can notice that it has something different from your regular like dry aged bourbons.
So I wanted to grab it because I thought it was a really cool fact and story about it.
Let me grab, I have the only bottle of Woodford Reserve that I have that's like this. I actually had another one. I had a chocolate stout at one point that I bought as a gift for a friend who ended up cheating on her fiance, and then I was upset because my bottle was gone. Either way, I really like Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve is kind of where I entered the space. If you like a sweeter bourbon, Woodford's a great entry point. This is a bottle that, for me, I am just kind of holding on to. They come out with some of these limited edition bottles.
What's special about this one?
So this is like their high-end, something unique, right? So this is their Woodford Reserve Select American Oak. It's a higher quality bottle. It's handpicked. This one is an American Oak edition, so it's the type of way that they brew it, the type of wood they use, the type of staves they use, and they get to a point where they're like, this is a good enough bottle to sell at a higher price, to put in one of these type of bottles. I believe in having a liquor collection that has 10 or 15 bottles that you haven't opened for 15 or 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I bought this probably 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So it's like aged with me, right? It's been on the shelf for a while. And one day I'll open it up for a good reason, when we cross like 100,000 subscribers or something here on the channel. And it's something to like celebrate with. But I'm always looking for more of these master collection bottles. Whenever I stop in a liquor store, if I see them, I will pick them up because they go fast, they don't last long, and I like having, I like the profile of them, and I like just having things that in 30 years, at a graduation or at a wedding, I can be like, I've had this bottle since I was 25. Now it doesn't mean something because the liquor, it means something because the time.
Yeah. In a similar vein, this is called a High West Rendezvous, and it is not necessarily rare.
High West is my favorite whiskey of all time.
But High West is a fantastic whiskey, and I was one time in the liquor store and I saw this one and we hadn't tried it. We usually try High West and their rye blend. And I saw this one and I was like, cool, I'm going to give it a shot. We tried it, and it was one of the best bottles of High West.
If anyone wants to send me a bottle of Rye, which has the jackalope on the top of it, by the way, that's now only Utah. I believe it's Utah Select. I think that's where it comes from. Park City, Utah. Yeah. Anyone wants to send me a bottle of Rye, I'll add that to the permanent collection.
So this one, we drank the bottle, we tried it, and we thought it was
really
so good. And then we went down to Kentucky, actually, and there was a massive liquor store down there, and they had more in stock because up here they were sold out. And I grabbed one that was down there, and I was like, this is going in our permanent collection. And it's going to be one that we're going to hold on to. I know I like the flavor profile. Flavor profile.
You're drunk.
No, I haven't even drunk anything tonight. I know I like the flavor profile a lot. And this is one that I want to open in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50th anniversary. Something special. And think about that. You introduced me to High West. And this was my favorite bottle of High West I've come across so far.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And then we have this. You want to talk about Maker's Mark Wood Finish Series 2021 limited release fruit forward expression with notes of tobacco and wood. We've had this before.
Yes, we had this before. So, the same friend who introduced Jesse to a lot of his liquor, Michael
Matthews, the designer of the Quackalope logo.
Michael Matthews. He had a bottle of this.
Raging alcoholic.
I was still looking for presents for Jesse for Hanukkah last year, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, what's a really good bottle that's unique that I can buy for Jesse? And he's like, well, Maker sometimes comes out with these limited releases that are dependent on the year. And I was like, that's really cool.
Are you paying attention this year for another one?
Yeah, I've already been looking for it, and there's a second one that came out for 2021 that I'm trying to get my hands on. So
they can be hard to get.
They're very expensive, I would know. And Ohio doesn't allow you to mail liquor very easily. I had to mail it to Miami, and when we drove down for Thanksgiving, we picked it up in person.
Sure.
But someone had to sign. It was a crazy story to get this. But so the story behind it is that 2021 is the year we met, and I wanted something to signify the year we met. I have some collections of my own, and Jesse was saying that he wasn't going to let me start any more collections, but he was going to start a collection for me of comic books.
Collecting.
And I was like, cool, I want to do something similar to you. You like alcohol, and I want to start a collection for you of special alcohols that mean something to you personally. You know that the one, I gave this to you on our first Hanukkah together, and you know that it's the year we met, and it's going to be one of those ones that sits on our shelf that is kind of a story we talk about, that it was the start of the collection I was buying you for special ones, and we got to try it even at Michael Matthews, and it was really good as well. And so we know it's a good one. Even if they're not good, I think just having them on the shelf and knowing these are hard to come by. So hard.
I think it's neat to have things like that you can display and that tell a story. That's the big thing for me. Like, liquor, especially at 29 years old, is not a thing to just drink and consume and just drink for the sake of drinking. It's something that you do when you're in a social gathering. It's something that you do with your friends and with the people that you care about. And, there's so many stories and memories, especially like here on the channel. There's so many examples of like sitting down to play an amazing game and having an old fashioned, or like one of my favorite things to do when people come over. Or like Devin loves making mixed drinks for people. It's one of the ways that he like expresses himself and shares with people. And so I enjoy having
tequila. One of the ones I didn't bring upstairs, but he's actually introduced me to tequila and what's the seltzer called? Topo Chico.
Yeah.
It's like a seltzer with a grapefruit juice, and the way he makes it at least, and tequila in it, and it's really, really nice. I also like mojitos. Not mojitos.
I like an old fashioned. That's it.
It's not mojitos. It's
perfect.
Vodka with lime juice, Moscow Mule.
She likes all these fancy things. I like old fashions. Either way, I'm going to leave you with the tagline here from Woodford Reserve, which I think is on a lot of the liquor bottles. Crafted carefully, drink responsibly.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you again.